in the grand scheme of things, I don't actually care about Hunter Biden's tax evasion or illegal weapons possession. What? Look, he's going to get a slap on the wrist without the slap. Now you're saying, wait, you don't care? What do you mean you don't care? No, I do care. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't care if this means the end of investigations into other crimes committed by the Biden crime family, like the $5 million per father and son bribe that was allegedly paid. Right now, the media doesn't know what to do with itself after running a protection racket for the Bidens. Now they have to report, in fact, that Biden is, well, a criminal, Hunter, that is, after swearing he wasn't. Now they really got to run up the score on Trump. You know, it's kind of funny. Jack Smith's case rests on a tape of Trump allegedly telling people that he had a classified document that he could no longer declassify. By that, you know, a tape that none of us have heard to get a sense of the context. The media and the Democrats have already convicted Trump. And I mean, they know Trump is a bad man, right? And they know he's bad, so they've got to investigate him until they find the bad thing that he's done. But we've never entertained that on that tape he might have been facetious, sitting there in Bedminster waving any random piece of paper. Yeah, this is classified. Watching the interview with Bret Baier over at Fox News, you kind of get that sense.
Indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this on tape,
it says just the opposite,
that you can't declassify it. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify.
And that's what you said. You didn't declassify it.
I said no. I said I couldn't.
Could have
but that wasn't a document, Brett. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
I'm just saying what the...
In other words, random pieces of paper. But we find out that there's credible evidence that there are 17 recordings, 15 of Hunter and 2 of Joe Biden, with the CEO of Burisma working out two $5 million payments in exchange for Biden to withhold $1 billion in U.S. foreign aid unless the Ukraine state prosecutor is fired and the investigation into Burisma is shut down. That? Nah. The media takes a pass. This is exactly how they handled the Hunter Biden laptop story. Whatever Biden says, they believe. When Joe Biden said, my son did nothing wrong, they just ran with it.
First of all, my son's done nothing wrong. I trust him. I have faith in him. And it impacts my presidency by making me feel proud of him.
Let some of the backtracking begin.
He insisted, he said, as recently as last month, my son did nothing wrong. Well, now his own Justice Department has entered into a plea agreement where his son has pled guilty to 2 crimes and has been charged with a third crime, a felony. So clearly his son did something wrong.
Yeah, but you guys didn't even question it back then. And no, this isn't justice being done or proof that nobody's above the law. The media isn't being honest here at all. All they're trying to do is figure out how not to hurt Biden's reelection here and the Democrats at large. So far, there have been no leaks from the special counsel Robert Hur's investigation into Biden's documents issue or case, which, by the way, his lawyers had first access to versus the raid on Trump's home. And as far as Hunter Biden, we didn't see a raid on wherever Hunter lives, nor did we see him being taken into custody. The media barely even covers the story of his daughter, whom he doesn't even acknowledge. And same for Joe Biden. On Father's Day, he was surrounded by all but one of his grandkids. In other words, the one in Arkansas doesn't count. The media is missing its favorite angle here, too. White privilege. If Hunter Biden was anyone else, not named Biden, he'd just be another low-life scumbag, deadbeat, absentee father in rehab, jail, or face down in a ditch somewhere. But this loser is a multimillionaire because his last name is Biden. And he's going to get what? Probation for what Wesley Snipes and rapper Kodak Black both went to prison for. That's right. Wesley Snipes pulled a 3-year stretch in prison for tax evasion, and Kodak Black was sentenced for illegal gun possession. He was pardoned by Trump. By the way, while we're on the subject, it's pixelated, so I don't mind putting it up. This is how, there it is, Hunter Biden, finger on the trigger, hammer back, and little Hunter's out to play. That's how he handles his weapon. But gun control, right? That's right. Black men go to jail, white Democrats get probation. Hunter's lawyer went on MSNBC to brag that he's going to walk.
Do you have an idea of what the conditions are going to be? Is he going to be on probation?
It's up to the court. My expectation, at least with regard to after that proceeding, is he'll be released without conditions. But, you know, what the ultimate disposition of the case is going to be up to the judge.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Joy Reid. You out there, Joy? This is your one-trick pony. Don't pass this up. Let's get Patrice Cullors and Nicole Hannah-Jones in here. Let's do a 1-hour special on white privilege. CNN says, okay, probation, but whoop-de-doo.
You know, according to our sources, this U.S. attorney has agreed to recommend to the judge that Biden receive a sentence of probation, so no jail for those tax misdemeanor charges.
This is what this is, okay? You knew the first son wasn't going to prison, all right? That wasn't going to happen. They're going to now say, see, we've already got a plea agreement. He's already confessed. They're going to say, what now? What are you going to witch hunt this family, the first family, Joe Biden? Don't you know his son Beau died of cancer? I mean, over in Iraq, fighting against the Taliban or something. They have been investigating the Trump family since 2015. On April 17th, 2016, Politico published a piece on all the ways Trump would be impeached before he even got the Republican nomination. We've had Crossfire Hurricane. We've had the Mueller investigation. We've had 2 impeachments. We've had Georgia. We've had Mar-a-Lago. It's an endless cycle of, we know he's bad. We just have to keep looking until we find the bad thing. Show me the man. I'll show you the crime. Meanwhile, this is not the big thing. Okay, you and I would be in real trouble if we lied on that federal firearms application. Real trouble. We'd also be in real trouble if we dodged our taxes, like Hunter Biden. But the real investigation has to be into this $5 million payment. And I got to be honest with you. I have to use the word alleged and all this other stuff. I think he did it. I think you think he did it. Joe Biden is a subpar human being. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And when his 2 best friends in the Senate were Ted Kennedy and Chris Dodd, both very wealthy, he thought to himself, I didn't come all this way to be average. I didn't get all dressed up and know where to go. He knew he was going to get paid, and his son became his bag man. If there's $5 million coming in from Ukraine to shell corporations to accounts overseas, and money's being funneled to James Biden, Hallie Biden, and basically every other Biden, you think that's the first and the last time? I'm going to tell you right now the Chinese have something on Joe Biden. But with this, they're going to say, that's it. That's the end. Justice was done. You see, Merrick Garland, Joe Biden's DOJ, they didn't give a free pass to the first son. He's got probation. No jail time, like the 2 black men. But now, that's the end of investigating Biden. So you know what? I really don't care about the gun crime. I want to see the impeachable stuff.